The die is cast.
Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Constantine III here. So I know on this channel we focus mainly on Vayne, but I play a bunch of other champions too, Jhin being one of them. Anyway, I wanted to see if he was any good with the new runes, so I took him for a test drive. If you guys don't know this, he's been pretty dumpster for the past while. Ardent Sensor doesn't work with him. The games were going longer. He wasn't having it. He was so bad that people started playing him mid lane, actually. In any case, I took him for a test drive, and I used Precision because, you know, he's an ADC. Use Precision, right? It was garbage. It was so bad. Like, Fleet of Foot felt terrible. Lethal Tempo was bad. 3-hit thing, God, that was useless. So I was like, well, shit. Like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, is Jhin just garbage now with these new runes? So I went to pro builds, and I was absolutely stunned to see everyone was running sorcery of all things. They were running Comet on Jhin. I mean, I thought that tree was for mages, but it turns out not. Wizard Cowboy Jhin is a thing. I'm coining that term right now because it's too good not to make. And this guy is an early game powerhouse with tons of extra burst damage, and he's a lot of fun to play. So, here's a breakdown on the setup and why I think it's... Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is the rune setup you're going to need to play Wizard Cowboy Jhin. So obviously, like I said earlier, start with the sorcery tree and pick up Comet. And then I like taking the ultimate hat over here. You can go nullifying orb or mana flows, okay, but the thing about Jhin is that his ult is on a super long cooldown. So ultimate hat gives you a lot more ults, and Jhin ult is really good because it can set up plays, it can catch people, it can finish people. It's great. And since it's such a long cooldown, CDR on it is beautiful. So I love picking this up. Celerity. Jhin loves movement speed. You buy Boots of Swiftness, you buy Ghost Blade, why not more movement speed? And these other two, not that good. And then Scorch. DFT is kinda back. Doesn't do a ton of damage. It's gonna end up doing about half as much damage as your Comet's gonna do over the game, is what I've found. But it's really nice, you know? A lot of times you can pick up some free kills with this thing. A lot of extra damage on your combo, especially early game, because, you know, it's 30 to 60, so... you know, your Q just does 30 more bonus magic damage early game. It's great. I love it. Then we go into the precision tree right here for the extra 15 AD. Bloodline, you don't buy any lifesteal on Jhin, so this is just nice to counter some poke. And then I like going for coup de grace because, you know, really good synergy with your force shot. When people are low on health, you do bonus damage to them. Like, how much is it? Deal 10% more damage. So your force shot finisher, a lot more likely to actually finish people off. It's great. On a side note, I keep it Taco. He's an amazing Jhin main, master tier Jhin player, one trick, number 4 in NA for like top Jhin players. Really, really good. He's been saying that Comet is not very good because it's inconsistent to land. He's been running Summon Airy. Personally, I haven't had a lot of success with Airy and have had a lot of success with Comet, so I'm going to say Comet is good, but he's better than me, so I would recommend trying out both and thinking to yourself what you think is best. It's good. Anyway, if you guys are interested in hearing a breakdown of how the style of this build works, because it definitely has a unique style, let me talk to you guys about it. So, essentially, your goal is to smash lane early on, and then you sort of transition into a more, like, supporty ADC than a normal ADC. You're setting up kills, you're laying down traps, you're bursting backline targets who get CC'd, you're not really doing consistent frontline damage. This is especially true if you're against a tank, because Jhin is awful against tanks. And by awful, I mean he's as bad at fighting tanks as Stephen Hawking is at wrestling bears. We're talking bottom of the barrel shit tier skill. With that in mind, that's why my build that I'm going to put up on the screen right now has a Lord Dominic's Regards in the 3rd item slot, like heavily recommended. If they don't have any tanks, you don't need it, but if they do have a tank, you will not hurt them unless you have a Lord Dominic's Regards, period. That's just how it works. Anyway, so your basic build is going to be Ghost Blade into Boots of Swiftness, into an Infinity Edge, into probably an LDR. If they don't have a front line, then go... If they don't have much of a front line, then Static Shiv, Rapid Fire Cannon is a great... More crit to synergize if you're Infinity Edge. Jhin's Fourth Shot always crits, so that's why you can pick up a IE early on, because it makes your Fourth Shot do a lot more damage. It's significantly better on him alone than it is on pretty much every other ADC in the game. In terms of starts, you have two main choices. You can either go a Doran's Ring or a Doran's Blade. Yes, Doran's Ring. That's not troll. The issue is that you used to always go Doran's Ring start before Season 8 came out because it was just basically like free mana, and Jin's main problem was mana in lane, and that just solved it. Now, on the other hand, you do not have access to nearly as much free healing as you used to because you don't have Warlord's Bloodlust anymore, so not getting Doran's Blade early on means you literally have 0 lane sustain at all, besides the 1 healing potion. So you have to be damn sure that you have like a healing support or something, and that you don't need the extra damage to win an all-in. So it's pretty seldom that you get a Doran's Ring. It's basically, do I have a healing support? Am I against another poke lane? Then I go Doran's Ring. Otherwise, Doran's Blade pretty much always. Now, just a little side note here, a lot of people, I've been reading the forums, and they've said Comet is not very good on Jhin because it's inconsistent in how often it can land. And while it is true that you cannot 100% guarantee that Comet lands, I have found that it lands 70 to 80% of the time due to the fact that you can stun people with your, stun people with your W, and they tend to path into it when you use Q on them. And I'm playing in Diamond, and people are walking into it, so if you're below Diamond, then I can guarantee you they're going to way more often walk into it. It's just hard to read. You don't know when Jhin has Comet up when you're the enemy because it's on a 20-second cooldown pretty much. So not every Q drops it, so you're not always looking out for it. So I would say about half the time on an un-CC'd target, your Comet will land, which is really nice. Anyway, that's all for Wizard Cowboy Jhin. Make sure to like and subscribe and all of that bullshit. I hope you guys have a good one. Take it easy, and I'll see y'all real soon.